Hello, bread lovers, and how are you all doing? So, assuming you know of the company Boltrend. Yes, they've probably taken something from you, like your insanity. So, we have a lot to discuss and a lot of information to go over. But before we do that, I only ask one thing of you, and that's to share this video around. No, seriously, that's all I is. I am but one humble little goose that needs some big golden goose to pick this video up and share it around so it has more traction. If you're interested, you can contact me on social media and I'll happily fill in the gaps for you. Alright, without further ado, let's dissect the history of Boltrend and their lies. Now, I made a video 5 months ago which talked about where it pretty much started, mainly for my game Fantasy Life Online. Lots of good things there. I highly recommend you check that one out first. As you can see, it's been 5 months now, because that plant is dead. So, I'll be telling you the story of Boltrend, a company that started with a dogs and cats game that were able to land such titles as Raid Shadow Legends, Idoly Pride, and some other big company names, all to get their titles they want to make the money. You also know that they had 40 plus games. Actually, yeah, 40. Now, most of them are shut down, being cancelled, never came out, and we're down to 2. Oh, and they fired most of their staff. So, without further ado, thank you all very much for watching, and let's dive right into this pile of trash. Let's pretty much start where it all began. And it all began with Fantasy Life Online. And I would say it started with this post. As you can tell, this is a load of baloney. What Boltrend likes to do is they like to do these lip service things to calm down the community or silence them. Now, give it a few months, the game will most likely be in the same position it was, as Boltrend seems to like to take 2 steps forward and 1 back. After discussing things with Boltrend and getting things added to the game, they went radio silent and did the exact same thing by not adding some sort of pity to the banners. I talked about it in this video 3 months ago. I went and asked the team about this and didn't get any answers, and they would just avoid giving me answers or send me to someone else which didn't even know what was going on after they clearly said, I'll forward this to the right person. So it's pretty clear they had plans to run this game down into the ground. So they wanted to milk other games. The only thing that pretty much came out of this agreement was the starter store getting reduced prices, which was good, and content slowed down in Fantasy Life Online. So they could reach that 6-month end of service rumor, but they said was fake, after the Google Doc came out. And something interesting recently just happened in Disgaearpg, Boltrend's Golden Goose, recently, where Boltrend had a gacha banner with a rate, but they came out and increased the rate while people already pulled when the rates were lower, giving an apology and refunding players who pulled for a refund of 45%. Now, Boltrend did something very similar in Fantasy Life Online, but offered a 30% refund. As well, Boltrend has done full refunds for things before, so where are they getting these calculations from? Now, what I don't like about this, it feels like some kind of corrupt marketing strategy. Okay, as let's say you give someone $50 cash, but they go, oh, sorry, we made a mistake. Here is 30% of that $50 back, but you're not getting that 15 cash, you're going to get a digital currency back, which you now only have the option to spend in their game. And it doesn't cost them anything to generate resources. So they still keep your money while going, hey, we've increased the rates for you. Go spend, big boy. What? It's just all very weird, as they seem to do these mistakes on pretty big money making banners. Please let me know your comments regarding this down below, as it's very grey, and let me know your experience. So the last few months for Fantasylifeonline were alright. Our last banner, which is a 6-star banner, and mind you, one of the most, dare I say it, one of the most near expensive banners, because you need a 6-star character and you need 2 6-star weapons, and the rate for these are pretty ridiculous. And then they go ahead and say, end of service. So, as you can tell, the community was pretty riled up at this point, because they said it wouldn't shut down, but then they shut it down. Now, the interesting thing is here that a few other games Boltrend was having actually shut down within pretty much the same month. Now, these are the games that really shut down. Now, what these games actually did is they got a farewell gacha. Wow, yeah, you know, like you have an end of service and that game is like, hey, this is sad news, but we're gonna give guys like a happy ending. So like Graffitismash got him and Immortal got it, like pretty good things. Fantasy Life on the other hand, dropped dead. Nothing. Zilch, not even anything, not even a whisper. I had to ask the goddamn staff member, be like, hey, there's nothing but you just announced that, and then they had to go out and be like, oh yeah, nah, there's nothing coming, 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏. What? You're just dropping it, but you were like, oh, that's okay, we're going to give you 2 months, so the game can last that 6 months rumor. But remember guys, we're going to give you like 5,000 gems every week, so you can like pull, but you only need like, what is it, like 20,000 something gems, and you're pretty much guaranteed to get that pity on that 6-star character. What are you gonna do for the other one? Man, I had like nearly 60,000 gems at end of service. What are you meant to do with that? It's not fun if you get all these gems, but you can't freaking do anything with it. How is that? That is not a end of service. That is a pump and dump, I tell you. A pump and dump. And that was the end of service. Now, do you guys remember Idoly Pride, that new game that was coming out, which was going to be done by Boltrend? Most people were pretty devastated about that, as you should be. Well, it didn't actually go to plan because Boltrend stuffed it up hard. It seems that versions of Boltrend Idoly Pride had bad sound design, which led to the TC beta dropping from top 10 to top 100 in days, which means the game won't have the legs to grow like all Boltrend games because they fucked everything up. Disgaearpg seems to be fine for now. Now, what I'm getting from this is the publisher got word of Boltrend and all their things and pretty much pulled the plug and went with someone else. So, which is very interesting. And there's a few things on the Reddit as well as these ones. Now, what makes this really interesting, it seems Boltrend actually cut ties with Idoly Pride the same day Fantasy Life servers were closed. The exact same day. Boltrend posted this while Fantasylifeonline servers were shut down. Suspicious. Idoly Pride has now been moved on and picked up by someone much better, which is great. Now, talking about mobile games, do you guys remember that mobile game Boltrend had? But they're trying to make it as their first real game, apparently. Project Winter. It had some very suspicious reviews, which seem to have equaled out now. And you have a look at the Discord, there's not much happening over there. Yeah. Boltrend did everything they possibly could and leaked everything out, and they even stopped making some content for Fantasylifeonline at one point so they can get their devs, where one dev or two devs, to focus on this game. They also seem to put quite a bit of money into this and maybe a bit of time as well, as they offered like a 2,000 USD prize pool split between certain winnings. And on the Discord, it's probably why they have so many members in the Discord, and now it's why it's flopped. As well as the Google Doc came out just shortly after this game, which made them work on different games, hence why that game's not getting updated, or it was never going to get updated. And when it launched, it was a mess. But the reviews were great. Now, after going deep down the rabbit hole without going crazy for digging for more information, I looked at some past or current Boltrend games. Best luck I had was looking at the old APK files for Boltrend games. I noticed it had 39 games listed, which aren't even all of them, to be honest. And from what I can see, 30 of them are closed. Well, the current page for Boltrend has only 2 games. The dog and cat game just got end of service announced. The other 9 games having no information or in pre-registration or coming out, such as these 2 games and this one that has a huge player base. The comments on these are bliss. Now, let's look at some of the games that Boltrend had that has recently shut down. There's quite a few of them in a good amount of time. First, we had the horse game, which closed down on April 11th, 2022. Next, we have Fantasylifeonline, closed on August 3rd, 2022, after 4 months of maintenance without getting any content. 3 weeks later, Idola, Fantasy Star Saga, closed down on August 22, 2022. 3.5 months later, Immortal Souls Black Survival closed on December 8th, 2022. 54 days after that, Graffitismash shut down on January 31st, 2023. 3 days after that, Boltrend lost Idoly Pride on February 3rd after radio silence. 3 days after that happened, Fantasylifeonline officially closed on the February 6, 2023. And coming up, 29 days later, is their Cats and Dogs game, which is Boltrend's pretty much original game that they just made a lot of clones of, like a lot. Now let's look at the other games Boltrend had, but more on the TC and Korean side. Yep, they built that too on screen. Now, so you got a few here: 𝗧𝗠𝗘𝗢, Fantasy Life TC, Rising Fortress, Disgaearpg Korean, Graffitismash TC, and Ark the Lad RTC. It is weird. Anyway, that's a lot of games over the year. In the recent few months, to be honest. So many games have shut down, pretty much only leaving Disgaearpg, which is Boltrend's golden goose. And as all YouTubers, they have to have a take on this. And my take is they milked everything they got from Disgaearpg so they could get the rep and the money to get other titles, which got them to work on Project Winter. As you know, that didn't really go to plan. The ship looks like it's sinking. And I would say the crew is going down with the ship, but Boltrend recently just fired all the customer support team. So what crew is there? Skeleton crew now. As well, remember, this is a company that will charge you a $30 handling fee if you want a refund for some gems and whatnot for a game they just shut down on you. Yeah, you think it's over? No, they're gonna have the last laugh and charge you before you get some of your money back. And they really will try not to pay you back, as this happened in Fantasy Life Online when they had their first stuffer. And which brings us to the next thing. How the hell are you meant to get a refund if Boltrend has no customer support team? Yeah, like none. This has been really interesting on Reddit, as you can see. There's quite a few great comments there. Really interested about the Diablo Immortal one though. Maybe you should look into that. Someone really needs to cover this. As well as you got Hazing, which is Boltrend's biggest content creator, and he just quit and he made a video about it.
Has basically made this company even remotely relevant. They can just get, as far as I'm concerned. So, Boltrend, to you, I say this.
As well as pretty much confirming a few things. So it's not looking good for Disgaearpg right now, because Fantasy Life Online got similar treatment, and I see the pattern. So what they're pretty much going to do is act like they're doing things right, give you some lip service, while trying to act like everything is okay until they hit that deadline, and then they'll cut the game off. Now, I really looked deep into the pile of trash here, and I noticed a company, Treasure Ship, which, as you can see here, seems to be Boltrend. Treasure Ship was more focused on the TC and Korean stuff, while Boltrend does more global things. So it seems like they're kind of entwined there, and that's where Treasure Ship is in China. But now they got Boltrend, and it is, as you can see, it just freaking skyrocketed. Now, I feel like Treasure Ship needs to have a video by itself, because that's a whole lot of other information I need to get on that one, okay? But what really shocked me is on the Treasure Ship one, on their page, it says Raid Shadow Legends, which is done by Treasure Ship and is in pre-registration. Are you telling me a company that started on dogs and cats, which couldn't even get the names right, and got Idoly Pride and the rapping game, which were big titles, mind you, and $1 million franchise, and they couldn't even do that? Still fail. It's just so bizarre. And I love how their games just seem to have always shady views. Now, it's just also weird with everything that happens. Now, after talking with the community, here's what I think happened after putting the puzzle together. They paved the way for a bright future, built on the corpses of dozens of games, only to mess up a few times. We leaked Fantasy Life Online closing, so they lost some money when the whales quit and put the devs on the game to patch and fix things, as they would deliberately remove content from the game, which got to the point the game was in such a bad state, and they would still monopolize content. It was clearly known that they would take things out, and they would just be like, I don't know, oh no. They would say anything they can to sleaze their way out of it. Now, imagine for a moment that forcing the devs to work on Fantasy Life Online shortened the development of the Idle game and Project Winter, a game they spent every dollar they probably earned into. enough for them to lose the Idol contract and took away their future for Project Winter. To be an unplayable game flopped, and their contract with Disgaearpg is so bad that they did it to themselves. Well, they just wanted to drop Fantasylifeonline, but the facts were out now. Plus, didn't even really need that information, to be honest, to know was going to die. The company title does that itself. Now, they've messed up the development of Idoly Pride. The next game sequeled to be the big one for them, and they lost it because they couldn't develop it properly, as they were most likely forced to work on Fantasylifeonline as it was in such a bad state. Next, all that money and development for Project Winter, which was probably the worst investment ever, maybe the greed grab that really killed the company. So like, they planned all these steps to pave the way, and then they fumbled. Plus, they were using Disgaearpg to get other game contracts, and now that's the only game left. And all customer support members and CMs have been fired from Boltrend. Yeah. Now, since 2019, or before that, with Treasure Ship, the company just got more and more hungry. But with that, it had a slow permanent damage over time debuff that they just can't get rid of. And that's all on Boltrend's actions. It just baffles me how a company can just get all this money and all these titles by just getting a game, squeezing the shit out of it, posting out bad translation, monopolizing the shit out of everything so they can make more money, make all this money so they can go into their next title and do this consecutively. Like, what? It's insane as a business. Like, and it's only a matter of time before they make a bigger reputation for themselves where every single community member knows about it, make more fabulous comments on their things, as well as their YouTube channel has some very dead subscribers for comments, a little bit sus. And then more companies start to acknowledge Boltrend for what they do to the community for your game. So it really is only a matter of time.